Battlefield Legends History. The shadows of the north. The wind howls across the frozen plains of the Baltic, a land once ruled by pagan tribes, wild, untamed, and forgotten by time. But from the west, armored riders approach, cloaked in white and bearing black crosses. They are the Teutonic Knights, holy warriors on a mission to conquer souls and lands in the name of God. Their crusade is ruthless. Villages burn. Ancient tribes vanish beneath the weight of the cross and the sword. And from the ashes of this conquest, a new order begins to rise, the first seed of Prussia. By the early 16th century, the power of the Teutonic Order begins to fade. Their Grand Master Albert of Hohenzollern breaks his vows, abandons the church, and embraces the Reformation. In 1525 he creates a new secular state, the Duchy of Prussia. It is small, fragile, but destined for greatness. The iron discipline of the Teutonic Knights does not disappear, it transforms. Their spirit becomes the foundation of a nation that will one day define military precision itself. The Brandenburg Connection. A century later, another land rises under the same family. Brandenburg, a powerful electorate within the Holy Roman Empire. The Hohenzollerns now rule both Brandenburg and Prussia. Two territories divided by geography, but united by ambition. Under the rule of Frederick William, known as the Great Elector, Prussia begins to forge its identity. It's the middle of the 30 Years' War and Europe burns in chaos. Yet from the ruins Frederick William builds order and an army. He understands that survival in this brutal age depends not on faith or diplomacy, but on force. By the time he dies in 1688, he leaves behind one of the most efficient armies in Europe, the beating heart of a future empire. The birth of a kingdom. 1701 in the city of Königsberg, a new chapter begins. Frederick I, the son of the Great Elector, crowns himself king in Prussia. It is a bold move. His title is not recognized everywhere, and his lands are still scattered and vulnerable. Yet symbolism matters. The coronation marks the birth of a kingdom built on discipline, hierarchy, and ambition. While other European monarchs indulge in luxury, the Prussian court becomes a place of order and austerity. Everything, from education to administration, serves a single purpose: the perfection of the state through duty. The world barely notices, but soon Prussia will make itself impossible to ignore. Frederick the Great. 1740 the throne passes to a man unlike any before him. Frederick II, later known as Frederick the Great. He is a scholar, a lover of music and philosophy, the embodiment of the Enlightenment. Yet beneath his cultured exterior burns the mind of a strategist, cold and relentless. When he ascends the throne, his first act is audacious. He invades Silesia, a rich province held by the Austrian Empire. Europe watches, expecting the young king to fail. But he doesn't. With speed, discipline, and tactical genius, Frederick crushes armies far larger than his own. His soldiers move like clockwork, the product of years of drilling and perfection. In battles like Malwitz, Rossbach, and Leuthen, he rewrites the art of war. Lines advance, pivot, and strike with mathematical precision. His opponents call it the oblique order. Military historians will call it revolutionary. By the end of the 7 Years' War, the map of Europe has changed, and Prussia stands among the great powers of the continent. Frederick has turned his small, isolated kingdom into a continental giant, bound by discipline and iron. The Age of Iron and Blood. Decades pass. The kings of Prussia inherit more than a throne, they inherit an identity: order, duty, obedience. By the 19th century, one man embodies this spirit: Otto von Bismarck, the Iron Chancellor. Through diplomacy, cunning, and war, Bismarck transforms Prussia from a kingdom into the driving force behind a new empire. In a series of lightning wars, against Denmark, Austria, and finally France, Prussia asserts its dominance. Each victory is not just military but ideological. The world witnesses the emergence of a new power, the German Empire. 1871 in the Hall of Mirrors at Versailles, surrounded by defeated French nobles, the King of Prussia, Wilhelm I, is proclaimed Emperor of Germany. It is the ultimate triumph of the Prussian dream: unity through strength, empire through discipline. The legacy of steel. Prussia's empire would not last forever. In the 20th century, the forces it unleashed would reshape and nearly destroy Europe. Yet its influence endures. The Prussian model, of efficiency, duty, and military rigor, became the foundation of the modern German state. Its schools, bureaucracy, and army all carried the same DNA: precision, hierarchy, control. Prussia itself may be gone, erased from maps after World War II, but its legacy remains, in strategy, in governance, in the very idea of what it means to command. From the Teutonic Knights to Frederick the Great, from the Great Elector to Bismarck, one truth stands above all. The Prussian Empire was not born from wealth or geography, but from discipline. Forged in steel, tempered by war, and immortalized by history, it remains one of the greatest military civilizations the world has ever known. As the echoes of marching boots fade into history, one question remains. Can a state built on discipline survive without compassion? Can a nation forged in war find peace? The story of Prussia is not just the story of conquest. It is the story of humanity's eternal struggle between order and freedom, ambition and restraint, power and ruin. This was the rise of the Prussian Empire. Battlefield Legends History, where war speaks and history comes alive.